university library has most of the necessary books. You are required to complete the research paper by next Monday. Your thesis should have fairly limited scopes. The coffee house has special student discount throughout the week. All writers, consciously or unconsciously, all represent their culture. Students' identification card will be issued by today and tomorrow. Reference of material is held in the Hall of Library Reference Desk. The schedule allows plenty of time for individual study. The qualification will be assessed with the criterion to approach. The decision is made with supports of many faculty members.
50% of the world's population is vitamin D deficient, and we believe that it has serious health consequences for both children and adults alike. Major cause is lack of sun exposure. Humans have always depended on the sun for their vitamin D requirement. And it's over the past 40 years that it's been suggested that you should never be exposed to direct sunlight. That is one of the major causes of the vitamin D deficiency pandemic. Again, everybody thinks about vitamin D preventing rickets in children. We don't see rickets any longer, so people are not thinking about vitamin D. It's incomprehensible to physicians as to how vitamin D could reduce risk of heart attack by 50%, reduce risk of common cancers like colon, prostate, breast by as much as 50%, reduce risk of infectious diseases, including influenza, by as much as 90%, reducing risk of type 1 diabetes, 78%, if a child is getting adequate vitamin D during the first year of life, reduces risk of type 2 diabetes.
This busy little town is named after St David's first cousin. It's also a Welsh language stronghold. According to the 2001 census results, 70% of the town's population could speak Welsh. But even here, the language may not be completely safe. The Welsh Language Board expects last year's census results to show a fall in the number of Welsh speakers living in its northern and western heartlands. One of the main reasons for that, the board says, is migration. Many Welsh speakers are choosing to leave the country. At the same time, only a small percentage of those moving in can speak the language or choose to learn it.
Historically, over the past 70, 80 years, Welsh people have continually left in order to find better standard of pay, maybe, and quality of employment. The thing that's changed most probably is that there is a larger amount of English people now who have found Wales over the last 20, 25 years, particularly this corner of Wales, and regard it as a desirable place to come and live. And as opposed to many areas of England, I suppose, like the Cotswolds, cheaper as well.
What are the two girls doing on laptop?
A piece of subcontinental land that is surrounded by water from all the sides? Person in charge of a football match? A person who watched a show, game or event. Last game in a sporting competition which decides the champion.
What is the item which is circled?
Sculpture of a person's head. Painting of countryside. A piece of land that is almost surrounded by water from three sides.
Name the device which is shown in the picture to generate electricity.
The border itself between Mexico and the United States is fraught with a mix of urban and desert terrain and spans over 1,900 miles. Both the uninhabited areas of the border and urban areas are where the most drug trafficking and illegal crossings takes place. Crime is prevalent in urban cities like El Paso, Texas, and San Diego, California.
Yellow is the most optimistic color, yet surprisingly, people lose their tempers most often in yellow rooms and babies cry more in them. The reason may be that yellow is the hardest color on the eye. On the other hand, it speeds metabolism and enhances concentration. Think of yellow legal pads and post-it notes. Akimbo, this must be one of the odder-looking words in the language. It puzzles us in part because it doesn't seem to have any relatives. What's more, it is now virtually a fossil word, until recently almost invariably found in arms akimbo, a posture in which a person stands with hands on hips and elbows sharply bent outward, one that signals impatience and hostility. Domestication is an evolutionary, rather than a political development. They were more likely to survive and prosper in an alliance with humans than on their own. Humans provided the animals with food and protection, in exchange for which the animals provided the humans their milk and eggs and, yes, their flesh. Since Plato, philosophers have described the decision-making process as either rational or emotional. We carefully deliberate or we blink and go with our gut. But as scientists break open the mind's black box with the latest tools of neuroscience, they are discovering that that's not how the mind works. Our best decisions are a finely tuned blend of both feeling and reason, and the precise mix depends on the situation. Moods may also have an effect on how information is processed by influencing the extent to which judges rely on pre-existing, internal information, or focus on new, external information. Positive moods promote more holistic and top-down processing style, while negative moods recruit more stimulus-driven and bottom-up processing.
The university library has most of the necessary books. You are required to complete the research paper by next Monday. Your thesis should have fairly limited scopes. The coffee house has special student discount throughout the week. All writers, consciously or unconsciously, all represent their culture. Students' identification card will be issued by today and tomorrow. Reference of material is held in the Hall of Library Reference Desk. The schedule allows plenty of time for individual study. The qualification will be assessed with the criterion to approach. The decision is made with supports of many faculty members.
This line graph shows the information about the world population development in billions of people. There are two categories in comparison: developing countries and industrialized countries. The total population starts from 1 billion in the year 1750 and has skyrocketed from the year 1950 due to the rapid increase in population in developing countries. On the other hand, the industrialized countries have a steady increase during the whole period of time. In conclusion, the total population in the world will reach 10 billion in the year 2050.
The graph shows information about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs in 1970. It is presented in the shape of a pyramid with the physiological needs at the bottom and the needs for self-actualization at the top. The most fundamental 6 elements of the hierarchy are called the basic needs or D needs, which including safety needs and physiological needs, such as food, water, security, and safety. Esteem needs and the needs of belongingness and love form the center section of the pyramid, which is called psychological needs or B needs, elements including intimate relationships, friends, prestige, and feeling accomplishment. The picture gives information about the Eat Well plate to ensure that people can get a good variety of nutrients every day. The first group of food is bread, potatoes, pasta, and other starchy food. People should try to eat plenty of these food as they are a main source of carbohydrates. The second group is fruit and veggies. These food not only providing protein, but also providing a variety of vitamins and minerals. The third group of food mainly provides protein, which includes meat, fish, poultry, and eggs. Milk and dairy can provide a good source of calcium and vitamin. Lastly, foods such as treats and drinks, as they are high in fat and sugar, it is best to pay attention to daily intake. The diagram gives information about a cross-section of the inside structure of the Earth. The Earth consists of 4 concentric layers: inner core, outer core, mantle, and crust. The inner core is the center and also the hottest part of the Earth. The outer layer is a layer surrounding the inner core. The mantle is the widest section of the Earth, and it can be divided into upper mantle and lower mantle. The crust is the outer layer of the Earth, and it is also the thinnest layer among the 4. It is formed with oceanic crust and continental crust. The boundary between the Earth's crust and the underlying mantle is called hierarchic discontinuity, and the whole globe is covered with atmosphere.
This chart shows the information about the process of downloading music from Tesco Extra website. The first step is to search on the website to find out what you want to buy. The second step is to add all music to the shopping cart and make your purchase. The third step is to download the files from the site. After these steps, you can play and enjoy your songs and music. In conclusion, there are 4 stages of downloading music from the Tesco Extra website.
The speaker was discussing vitamin D deficiency in the world. According to him, 50% of the world population is coming under this. He talked about the major cause, which is lack of sun exposure. He mentioned that the humans have always depended on the sun for vitamin D. However, in last 40 years, direct sunlight exposure has been reduced. He discussed how vitamin D reduces the risk of heart attack by 50%. He described about the cure for cancers, infectious diseases, and diabetes. He suggested that if the child gets adequate vitamin D during the first year, then it reduces the risk of type 2.
The speaker was discussing a Welsh language decline. According to the census results, in Welsh town also it's not safe. He talked about the main reasons for that the board says is migration. Many Welsh speakers are choosing to leave the country at the same time. He also mentioned that only a small percentage of those moving in can speak their language or choose to learn it. He discussed that people have continually left in order to find better standard of pay. He described about change in English people who have found Wales in the last 20 years. He suggested few people have decided to return to the Welsh as opposed to many areas of England.
What are the 2 girls doing on laptop? Browsing internet.
A piece of subcontinental land that is surrounded by water from all the sides. Island. Painting of countryside. Landscape. Person in charge of a football match. Referee. A person who watched a show, game or event. Spectator.
What is the item which is circled? The telephone.
Last game in a sporting competition which decides the champion. Final. Sculpture of a person's head. Portrait. A piece of land that is almost surrounded by water from 3 sides. Peninsula.
Name the device which is shown in the picture to generate electricity. Windmill. If you don't want to miss these useful videos, please subscribe the channel and click on notification icon. You'll get notified once a new video is uploaded. Please share with your friends and family if you think it's useful to them. And if you want us to make more videos on specific topic, leave comments. And finally, thanks for watching.